In our Bible, 365 times, one for every day, it is spoken, fear not. 365 times, fear not, fear not, fear not. Because you're in the hands of the Almighty God. And the enemy of your soul wants you to fear, wants you to be afraid, wants you to lose your consistency with your faith in God. But I want you to know that there's no alligator of hell that can drag you under when God's got a hold of you. My son, keep your father's commandment and forsake not the law of your mother. I just want to say this, that there's two different ideas spoken here. Fathers, my son, keep your father's commandments, but forsake not the law of your mother. It's interesting because when I began to rehearse and study what the word law means in the Hebrew, it literally means the common order of things. Things in your life that move smoothly as they should. You're eating, drinking, all the things that you do, the common movement of your life is a law of your life. It's bigger in our cities, in our counties, in our states. The law still remains the same. It is that which consistently finds us safe and keeps us in the move of things without running over each other and killing each other. We still do that sometimes, but by mistake, I hope. Anyway, that's what a law is. A commandment then looks at the law and says, you must do this in order to have that proper flow. In order to have what is the law of God in your life. So it's interesting that the writer of Proverbs said, son, keep your father's commandments and forsake not that beautiful flow of your mother. Are you with me? Verse 21, bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck. Verse 22, when you go out, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it will keep you. When you awake, it will talk with you. Verse 23, here's the answer. For the commandment of your father is a lamp. But look at this. The law of light, or the law which is light, which is your mother, comes from your mother, and the law which is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Keep your father's commandment, forsake not the law of your mother. It was first suggested by a lady by the name of Anna Jarvis, and I'm going to read this from the internet. In 1864, it was first suggested the national observance of an annual day to honor all mothers because Anna Jarvis had loved her mother so dearly. As a memorial service for her mother on the 10th of May in 1908, Miss Jarvis gave a carnation, her mother's favorite flower, to each person who attended. Within the next few years, the idea of a day to honor mothers gained popularity, and Mother's Day was observed in a number of large cities in the United States. On May 9th, 1914, by an act of Congress, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. He established the day as a time for public expression of our love and reverence for our mothers of our country. By then it had become customary to wear white carnations to honor departed mothers, and red to honor the living, a custom that, as you know, continues until this day. There are two mothers that I would like to just commend this morning. The first being my wife, the mother of my 4 children and the grandmother of 9 grandchildren. My children, Matthew, Carissa, Kevin, and Greg, have all turned out to be pretty nice people. In fact, very nice people, generous, loving people. And certainly not because of their dad's influence, but I'm here to tell you it's because of their mother's influence. And I want you to know that in the ministry, we do something which is bad. We in the ministry, because we love the family of God, we usually give ourselves to the family of God more than we do to our own personal family. That's why PKs, or preachers' kids, are often known to be the most rebellious and the worst kid on the block, you know. If there's trouble, it's usually a PK. It's because Dad and Mom oftentimes neglected them in order to minister to the body of Christ. And that's particularly true in a larger fellowship, in a larger church, where there's so much going on. And you give sometimes 3, 4, 5 nights a week to the body of Christ, and you forget the most important ministry that you have is a parent, is a parental ministry to your own children. But my wife, my dear Judy, was there for them when I could not be, and she blessed them. And I have to say that she was the arm of correction. That they would go to her and she'd say, no, you can't do that. And they'd come to me, and they had forgotten to tell me that they had already talked to Mom, but they'd ask me if they could do it. And I said, well, I don't know. I was busy thinking about something else, I suppose. It's all right with me. And so there they'd go. And finally, we kind of recognized that this wasn't working out, and so we thought we better start working together, you know. So then I started saying, what does your mom say? Always a wise thing to say. But oh, how precious she has been to the family. The other member of my family is my own mother. I appreciate her very much. And though she passed several years ago, at 97 years of age, she was a darling example of the way a Christian should act and live and be. And so I want to say, I love you, Mom, and thank you for that. I also want to say that all of the things that Jeannie mentioned this morning, my mom taught me to lie. My mom taught me to be sneaky. I don't know, all the things my mom taught me to do. The wonderful thing about that is that when you become a genie, you all of a sudden realize that you don't lie. And the very things that your mom did or taught you to do, run around and drink too much and all those kinds of things, are to you now an awful thing. And so it built in you something strong and wonderful that God was doing, even through an ungodly mother. Oh, I'd like to read this poem written by a godly mother, in fact by a Baptist preacher's mother. It's called A Mother's Secret for Success. Listen to this. When in the morning I wash my children, I pray that they might be washed by the Savior's precious blood. When I put on their garments, I pray that they might be arrayed by the garments of salvation in the robe of God's righteousness. When I give them food, I pray that they might be fed by the bread of life. When I started them on the road to school, I prayed that their faith might be as a shining light, brighter and brighter to the perfect day. And when I put them to sleep at night, I pray that they